Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now August 30th of 2021. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars franchise seems to be quite expansive, not just with their books, novels, comics, and video games, but also a lot of fans have been really looking forward to their TV shows that have yet to be announced that will be by this November. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, if you want to go ahead and check me out at Mike01 on Twitter, I do post a couple of fun things on there if you guys want to tune in on that. So, we're now in a very interesting phase, as I always like to say, because we're entering the month of September, which is where Disney and Lucasfilm are beginning to prepare to film The Mandalorian Season 3, so they're going to begin filming that by mid to late September. Kenobi is doing just a little bit more filming before The Mandalorian Season 3 starts, so they're rolling that into September as well. They have not wrapped filming as a lot of people initially thought. They're doing some extra shots here and there. Nothing really significant. All in all, Ewan McGregor and Hayden are already done filming. So, what's the deal with everything moving forward? Well, right now we have, of course, the Ahsoka Tano series that's waiting to be filmed, and Kathleen Kennedy is still trying to get this Acolyte series rolling. Those are the two next ones that they are trying to really get into principal photography. So what's really very interesting to me, honestly, is that we have Jon and Dave pretty much with their hands tied. I mean, they got a lot of work that they are actually diving into currently with TV shows and new Star Wars lore that is about to be introduced into the Star Wars canon. So one thing that I think a lot of fans absolutely need to know is that The Mandalorian Season 3, alright, as of course Jon Favreau said a couple of days ago, is going to be far different than what was done in Season 2. We're going to get into that a little bit. So, Favreau was able to reveal a little bit more about Season 3 of The Mandalorian. So now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are indeed developing their new Star Wars projects like Star Wars Ahsoka and even The Mandalorian Season 3 that is set to be used as a foundation for brand new Star Wars shows that have yet to be announced, both Favreau and Filoni are very excited for their new plans to evolve the Star Wars brand from the ground up. However, in a recent interview, with Jon Favreau, he actually went on to talk about the future of Star Wars, where Favreau wanted to actually make it clear that when they dive into The Mandalorian Season 3 and other shows out there, is that you are going to see some surprise cameos in the series that are very familiar to the fans. Now, what me and my partner Dave Filoni are currently building is a wall of projects that will retell certain aspects of characters from Legends and even the sequel trilogy movies. Favreau also makes it clear that these new plans will be used as a way to also tell new stories of Luke Skywalker in the mix that deal with his actual training with Grogu and how that will blossom into something unexpected for the fandom. So this most likely, of course, alludes to what we saw in that poster between Luke and Grogu with the yellow Kyber crystal and such. Now, Favreau also states that I always wanted to experiment with the Skywalker bloodline, and that is exactly what me and Dave are doing for future shows. The third season is going to be quite a thrill for you guys and is only the beginning, and will have a significantly different tone in comparison to Season 2. I cannot wait for you all to see it for yourselves. Favreau also touched on how we will see younger versions of some known characters in the Star Wars universe, and even older ones at that will become a part of the Mandoverse, as the fans are beginning to call it as of right now. Additionally, completely separate from all of this, it's described that recently Lucasfilm has gathered a handful of young male actors to portray the younger version of Ben Solo, since he is said to have a major cameo in the third season of Mando, and that they are actually down to 3 different actors for the actual series. Now, this most likely is what Jon alluded to when he mentioned that we will be seeing younger version of some known characters in the Star Wars universe. Not just that, but also Jon Favreau is said to be taking a huge segment from Star Wars Legends, in which Luke Skywalker is said to have a Jedi temple that will actually serve as Luke's temple before the one seen in The Last Jedi by Rian Johnson. Both Jon and Dave are said to be developing the design of Luke's Jedi Temple for Yavin this time, and that this will introduce fans to some of Luke Skywalker's Jedi students with the addition of Grogu. The series is said to pick up where Grogu is already well into his training with Luke Skywalker in order to create a screen time realistically between Grogu and Din Djarin once again. Now, the thing about all of this, alright, that really does surprise me the most is the fact that what Jon said is that they are going to be experimenting with younger versions and older versions of specific Star Wars characters. Now, as far as older versions go, that most likely alludes to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago with the big leaks of how there's going to be an elderly Mace Windu in the future of the Mandoverse. Alright, so they're currently working on both Season 3 and Season 4. There's been a lot of discussions on if Season 4 is even going to be called Season 4, or if it's going to be a brand new show that is going to be treated as the 4th season of Mandalorian, if that makes a little bit of sense. So, basically what they're trying to do is that they're trying to explore different angles of known characters to attract the Star Wars fandom. But they're doing this genuinely speaking. They're not doing this out of desperation. They're going to make sure that this is going to make a lot of sense. It's going to actually fit into the storyline. It's going to be very real to the Star Wars philosophy and the Star Wars lore and just the vision of George Lucas at heart, right? I mean, that's what really matters, is respecting the vision of George Lucas. You have to absolutely respect that. You have to. I mean, that is a must. That is a necessity at this point. You have to respect that. So, that's the one show, of course, that's really going to be very much lore-driven. It's actually said to be a little bit longer than Mando Season 2, so we could be seeing 10 episodes. We're not quite sure just yet as of right now, but it is said to be a little bit longer than Mando Season 2 in order to explore these different angles of not just the story of Din Djarin, but also some of the other beloved characters that we're very familiar with. I want to hop into another thing here that's also very much surprising, is that Favreau and Filoni, what they are doing with the Skywalker bloodline is that they will be exploring the bloodline in also many different ways, not just in Season 3 of Mando, but in multiple different TV shows. Now, we touched on this lightly before a couple of months ago, and now Jon and Dave are finally beginning to crack and really talk about it a little bit more as they get closer and closer to filming for The Mandalorian Season 3. So this is a big deal. I mean, this really does tell us, the fans, that at least Jon and Dave are very passionate. They are convincing the Disney higher-ups that this is the way to go, and for them to witness it for themselves and to see how it all goes. You know, we actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago, that, you know, when Jon and Dave had that major meeting with Disney's higher-ups, including Bob Chapek, the CEO, to kind of move forward with these big ideas, it just goes to show you that Disney has some form of trust within Jon and Dave to really explore all different angles of Star Wars to make sure that it's going to thrive. So, the thing about all of this as well, guys, like I say, I would love to hear what you have to say about some of the characters like Ben Solo coming into the equation for Mando Season 3. That absolutely must mean that this is going to be a significant time jump and not just something minor. You know, again, learning that it is going to have a bit of a time jump and that it's going to pick up with Grogu and Luke Skywalker's training. We're not going to see their full training from start to finish. I guess that would take too long, right? We're going to see where Grogu and Luke are some years or whatever it may be at some point in Mando Season 3. So anyways, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.